Now, Bruce, I just came from a press conference in Toronto in which John Jones and Alexander Gustafsson were previewing their fight in September. I asked John Jones a couple questions, and one of the questions had to do with what happened on Saturday night and what he thought of Anderson Silva's tactics. And he said basically, in not so many words, that he felt that he disrespected his fellow fighter, and the end result was that the MMA gods taught him a lesson, and then he retracted it later on and said basically karma. It was all about karma. You were there. First of all, what was your impressions of what you saw and the end result and what happened afterwards?
Well, we all know that Anderson Silva is the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in mixed martial arts today. There's no question. And Anderson always has a tendency to do something that I'm not a particularly huge fan of. I don't like showboating. I didn't like it when Roy Jones did it in boxing, even, other boxers I've seen. Saturday night, it seemed that Anderson took his showboating to a higher level for whatever reason. Whether it was because Roy Jones was sitting in the first row, and maybe it was a little more because of that, I don't know. But Anderson had the ability to keep his hands down and dodge. He's just so amazing a fighter. He can do things that no other fighter can do, just like John Jones can do things that no other fighter can do. But what happens is that when you do that, you're just leaving yourself open for the one shot. The one shot that could ring around the world and change everything. And the first rule of fighting is to keep your hands up. So with over showboating or over emphasizing your ability, some people can look at it as disrespecting your opponent. I don't like pointing at the chin, sticking your face out, taking shots. He wound up taking a couple shots in the first round, but if he continued to take those shots, they would have wore on to wear him down. I mean, he's only human. Even though he's a god of MMA, he's only human. As a result, that showboating, overemphasis on playing that role, instead of just getting in there and being the massive, ferocious beast he can be, it caught up to him, and it got caught. It's really that simple. He got caught. Some people say he deserved it, and you hear all these things. It is kind of a karmic reaction to the way he was acting.
Just one more question about the fight. Anderson Silva said afterwards that he still has 10 more fights on his contract, that he didn't want to fight for the championship belt, and yet there seems to be so much talk about it now that even Dana White is thinking about possibly, if he can, make that the rematch in December for the final UFC card of the year. Do you see that happening?
I don't see any other fight happening than that. I mean, Anderson, after a fight and a loss that he went through, you got to realize, too, as we all do, that what was going through Anderson's head. He's a very cool cat. I mean, he's a super nice guy. I like Anderson very much. He's a friend. But he just lost. He just put a tarnish on a stellar career. Why just fight again? Why not wipe that tarnish away, polish it up, and fight for the championship, and then become who you're supposed to be, who you were? I don't see any other fight for Anderson personally than a rematch against Weidman. So when Dana said that he said he had confidence, or in so many words, confident that's going to be the case, I just don't see any other fight. I think anything else is not necessarily a letdown. We'd all certainly love to watch. But I think, when champions lose, it's usually in the contracts a clause, you want to get a rematch as quickly as possible.